Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to SA Accounting Academy. Here's a short clip on one of our previous webinars. I hope that you really do enjoy it.
Welcome, everyone. For those of you that haven't joined us on a tech talk with Karen and Carmen, welcome. On some other platforms, we're known as Triple C, which is really conversations with Karen and Carmen. We also have done these trainings, which we in-house between Carmen and myself refer to as 360-degree training. And we are going to invite you, please. We kind of have slots booked monthly for these type of chats, and they need to be topical. The whole idea is to be resolving your current issues, so we want them to be current, we want them to be topical, we want them to be issues that are relevant and in some ways problematic to you, so that Carmen and I can, we always say we bring the theory, you bring the practice, and between us we bring the solution. And these are not meant to be heavily driven theory sections as much as practical sections, although the theory is there to underpin everything we do. Okay, so everything we chat about, everything we talk about, especially, for example, in my session today is backed by case law or backed by, for example, the Trust Property Control Act. There we go, bless you. And during the break, I'll actually just quickly confirm what the next session is. I've got a feeling we did When Good Debts Go Bad last time.
Yes.
And we've done, I think, community living, or is community living still coming? I lose track some days. I think we've done community living, but it's definitely a topic that is up for chatting. So it's issues that you are dealing with right now. It's issues that you are grappling with your clients. We want them to be hot and topical, and obviously to be relevant to you. Okay, so Carmen and I enjoy these sessions because we get to niggle each other and to give each other a hard time. We come from, I think, Carmen, I'm safe to say, diametrically opposite sides of our profession. So, it's kind of like the Sharks and the Stormers having a game. No, we are, for those of you that know me, I am accounting, ethics, legislation, auditing, that kind of vibe. And Carmen is the tax guru. I bow my head in acknowledgement. I do not try to... I don't try to understand your side of the world. I have a working knowledge, as we all do as accountants, but you are definitely the person to speak to. I mean, for heaven's sake, you were even in tax court last week, so you can't get a better advocate for the work. So that's why we enjoy these sessions, because I'm looking at it from one perspective, Carmen's looking at it from another perspective, and I hope, what we want you to see is that we can't silo treat transactions, and especially with trusts. I think trusts is one of our favorite sections. We've been doing this since about 2013, 2014, around about there. And it's one of our favorite sections because it really does show how people can be quite blinkered and narrow in their thinking, and trying to solve a problem from one particular perspective, not realizing in doing so, they're tripping themselves up in 5 other areas and causing problems that they might not even be aware that they're causing. And hence why we've always enjoyed this. We've also enjoyed this because back in 2013, 2014, when we started talking about this, we were sort of starting to say to people, hang on a sec, people are not treating trusts right. People are not dealing with trusts right. People are not operating trusts in the way that they should. And then it was, what are the most dangerous words in the English language? But it's always been done this way.
It's been done that way.
It's always been done this way. And we're like, but the way it's always been done is wrong. And I got vindicated with that. We did quite a few training sessions for various law societies, and I had a career attorney, I may be wrong, a advocate's attorney, but 40, 50-year career. At the end of a session, sort of say, Karen, can I walk you to your car and help you carry your stuff? And as he was walking me down, he said, you know what, Karen, I just have to humbly admit that I've been working with trusts for the last 30 years, and I acknowledge right now that I've been doing it wrong. And then I sat back and thought, okay, so Carmen and my message must be right. Because if you can get a seasoned attorney that has been working in the space to look at it differently, that's all we wanted them to do, was to look at it differently. We achieved what we needed to achieve. Okay. Go for it, Carmen.
No, I was going to say, and I think the main point, or excuse me, that we've realized in this space is that people think they understand trusts because historically trusts have always been something where it was kept very close and in-house. It was pretty much as long as the beneficiaries were happy, or even if the beneficiaries weren't happy, as long as the trustees and the beneficiaries could come on board and the views could align, nobody else really looked that much. So you had agreement within a trust as to how something should be treated, but you didn't necessarily have a broader view of it because people kind of worked in their little networks, and then didn't really look at the consensus, and it was never challenged because nobody ever looked at it, which is also why, as you'll raise the point a little bit later, go and look at the case law. Where does the case law come from? From banks who want their money and from bun fighting beneficiaries.
Yeah, family against family. Carmen knows that I always have a joke and say that I don't watch soap operas anymore. I've given up dramas on TV because I just go read case law. I have enough drama in my work. I don't need to look for it on external sources. Because it's Bezuidenhout versus Bezuidenhout, Potgieter versus Potgieter, or it's FNB, Absa, Nedbank versus. And it's when it's nothing. There isn't a problem until there's a problem.
And there's quite a few things that people take as settled case law, where actually you and I have also been saying we actually need a bit more case law here, because there are issues which are currently still actually not as settled as people think they are.
Exactly. And it's trusts are a dynamic topic as well. So one of the other things is that just because something worked 5 years ago, check yourself now. Because the law is fluid. Case law even changes things, and the way we've always understood something, or maybe the way that you've got advice on something, check whether or not that person's actually up to date. Because there are, even we finding over the last 10 years, the sands have shifted and focus has shifted, and you need to just be aware. The other side to this is that you have to be very, pull together a good team when you're working in this space. It is a multidisciplinary team that works in trusts. And you've got to be careful about thinking that you can know everything and be everything in the space, because you actually potentially are going to do a triple wire that you don't even know that you're walking across, and then it's going to get quite ugly. I have quickly slipped past some of the admin slides. You have got the slides. If you wanted to know more about Carmen and myself, our bios are up in the beginning of the slides. I also went past the question slide, which in this type of session, we are going to beg on bended knee. Please ask questions. Carmen and I are really good at taking questions on the fly. If you've been to either of our sessions, you'll know that sometimes web organizers that like to publish questions, they often laugh and say, we didn't even get an opportunity to publish because you already handled them as we went through it. So please ask questions. We'll do the best we can to talk about it. And we also want it to be relevant to the issue that's sitting on your desk at the moment. With that, the other warning, dare I say, or should I say disclaimer, if you've got hold of the slides, and I see that Jeremiah from SAAA has actually put a comment in the chat box to tell you where you can get hold of the slides from. There are 145 slides in a 3-hour session. That is quite a bit. We won't necessarily get to every slide. It's not necessarily our intention to get to every slide, but through our discussion, we'll pretty much cover everything that's in the slides. Okay, so we are not the type of presenters that necessarily go, okay, slide number 1, we must talk to. Slide number 2, we must talk to. But the content of our conversation is all backed up in the material. And we sometimes give more material than we cover just to support our conversation and to give you the resources. But we do go on tangents a little bit with the comments that come through, or Carmen will raise something and I'll answer to it. And it's all in the slides. Okay, so it's all there. So don't get overwhelmed sitting thinking like, oh my hat, Monday morning, I need 3 cappuccinos to start the day, and I'm going to listen to a trust session with 145 slide deck. we will make it easy for you. We'll make it feel good as we go through the session.
I hope that you enjoyed that video. For more of our webinar videos, go to www.accountingacademy.co.za. Thank you and have a lovely day.